milestone number one, and the point number one is of course the login. I run the app right here and I will try to log in. I already created an identity before. I have this one. I will use my fingerprint, and yeah, I'm logged in, and I can also log out. That's about point number one. Unfortunately, there are a few things that we couldn't do. I highlighted them in the red text because we spend most of our time actually researching about how to use Tori and about Rust, because these two considered as new technologies and it was very hard to actually implement them. Now I will represent to you point number two, which is the CRUD functionalities: create, delete, update files. Point number five, which is about update files actually. I will have a meeting with my partner, his name Aman. He built the desktop version, so I will demo right now the desktop version. Okay, so let's just do the drag and drop first.
Yeah, I did it. I did it.
Okay, and delete file.
If I put something in here and if I open this file and if I delete it, it will take me back to home.
Okay, perfect. That's good.
Yeah.
Can you change the text here? Yes. Okay. Just write lower. Okay. And close the app, quit it, and open it again just to see if the data will be preserved.
So I did that. And there's only one file. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Perfect. Can you rename the file yet, or you cannot?
No. Rename.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe in milestone too. Okay, that's it. Thank you so much, Aman. I will give you a very quick code overview. First of all, the front end is written with Rust, and we are using the U framework because Rust gives us very high accuracy, and we need this accuracy to prevent unnecessary additional testing. We don't need to use enzyme and jest because of the nature of the very hard types in Rust. So the files that you can see on the left side has a specific workflow in the backend, and it is a bit complicated. To get started, we got this Tori command. It is basically get or fetch the data from the serial DB database. In this file, in the front-end SRC backend files, we have this folder called backend, and this actually not the actual backend. This is where we connect the two backends, the IC and the Tori backend. So the Tori backend store the data locally and the IC store the data on the blockchain on the cloud. Until now, I'm recording this video. I didn't implement the IC yet because a little bit confusing, but here we implemented the IC backend from the serial DB. It's called this code directory that you can see right here, get directories. Sorry, it is right here. If you are online, this function will be called and it will return you the data. If you are offline, this function will be called and it will return the data. Also, this get directories, it's called right here. So it will get the directories and it will store it in the Udex store, which is a form like Redux. And then we fetch the Udex, and finally we put it right here, and from here we render it finally to the app component right here, tree list you can see, and it will appear right here. Also, we are using an adjacency list, and it is already implemented in the Tori backend, and hopefully we can implement it later in the canisters backend. But the issue with the adjacency list is not very friendly for the blockchain because it takes lots of storage. It is very efficient when you search for a file. Now, talking about the IC backend, basically we have few errors because of using the UUID. And I already mentioned that here before I do the submission. Now I will talk about what's going on here in the canisters. We have one canister called the backend and another canister called the front end. Files here still not working. Add file is not working, unfortunately, and we have lots of features to add milestone 3 actually, like searching, but in milestone 2 we will focus on sharing the files with other users. So this is a way to handle the ownership, and we are using this package called IC stable memory in order to save all this data. This return file directory, and if you watch the shared, you will find the file directory right here. So this is how we unite between the web version and the desktop version. And just to save time, we are using one schema for both.